Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Lal ki. Dear devotees, it's been a real pleasure. This is my first time I'm coming here to this temple. It's been a real pleasure this afternoon, having spent last 2-3 hours in the association of all of you who are so enthusiastically devoting themselves for the pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan and for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Just a short introduction about myself. ISKCON Prabhu and I have known each other for last 35, 37 years. He was just a young teenager when I came to America in 1978. I was also only 22, 23 years old. And I was sent from Mayapur to America as the first Indian person to distribute books in America. Srila Prabhupada very much wanted, and he had given instructions that Indian devotees should go to America to preach. So I was chosen as the first person who came here. And I was in Dallas Temple. It was a very big happening temple at that time. Big devotees, Sura Prabhu and Tripurari Swami and all these people were there. Book distribution was in full swing. And as you know, coming to America for the first time at my age and getting into the rah-rah book distribution atmosphere was something that I was not used to. I was also a very young devotee. I had only been in the movement maybe 6 or 8 months. But ISKCON Prabhu, he confronted me, he approached me with tremendous compassion in his eyes. I could see in his mannerisms and the way he approached me, seeing a very lost Indian boy amongst young, enthusiastic American devotees. And he took me under his shelter, guided me, personally taught me how to distribute books. And they put me at the airports. I remember they didn't have any wigs, black wigs at that time, so they put a brown wig on me. So you can imagine how. And you know, those were the days when we used to change up people, and we were very aggressive because also the society was very aggressive towards us, and we retaliated. And I've known ISKCON Prabhu since then as a very compassionate saint. He really stood out in my eyes and in my experience to be a saint amongst so many other saints or devotees. He had the qualities of a saint right in those early days. He was very much attached to studying Shastra. I remember he would always encourage us to remember shlokas and memorize them and chant them all the way going to the airport, which was an hour and a half. He was always very careful that people that associated with him were always very happy and served nicely. And when he would come to India, then my relationship with him, we became the best of friends. So from that point of view, I was always very keen to come to this community because I knew in my heart that anyone who comes in association comes under the shelter of such a saint as ISKCON Prabhu. His spiritual life will definitely be very nourished. And for sure, in my 2 hours of experience of being here, I am seeing how wonderfully all your spiritual lives are being nourished by this great saint. And that is your saubhagya, that is your great fortune, that amongst so many devotees and saints that are there in ISKCON society, you have got a diamond of a saint. So I'm here for a special purpose. I live in Florida, in Alachua, which is also a very large community. We have more than 1,000 devotees living there. And I'm a grihastha with 4 children and wife, and I have a business to maintain my family. But in the last 2 years, very fortunately, I have been given this opportunity to serve Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's mission in spreading awareness and soliciting participation from the large community of ISKCON devotees around the world to build a temple that Srila Prabhupada very much wanted to build right since 1972. He was most enthusiastic about this one project, and that was the Mayapur temple. As we know, Srila Prabhupada is one saint in the modern age he is an epitome of sacrifice and compassion and giving true knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. And the result speaks for itself. In the last 45 years of ISKCON being on this planet, we can see that those who have sincerely approached the methodology of bhakti by the teachings of Srila Prabhupada are all benefiting. We do not need to be told whether we are benefiting. Just like when a person, he takes prasadam or he eats, he does not need to be told that he is satisfied. The feeling of satisfaction or the feeling of energy coming back to his body is felt by him. So all of us can vouch for that those of us who have come in contact with Srila Prabhupada and his movement and his methods of bhakti, we all are nourished in our spiritual lives. So Srila Prabhupada, as all of us understand, is a personality who has been sent on this earth by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to establish Krishna consciousness in the midst of this Kali Yuga, so we can all benefit. And that is also a prediction in the Shastra that in this 432,000 years of Kali Yuga, there will be a 10,000 years called the Golden Age in Kali Yuga after the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. It is mentioned many places in the scriptures, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, who has advented himself in Kali Yuga with great compassion in order to deliver us wretched souls who have no qualification to become devotees. There is a wonderful story I heard from one of the sadhus in Vrindavan. One other activity that I have been engaged in is I have spent the last 10-12 years in Braj area in Vrindavan. Many months I spent there. And in doing so, I was engaged in fighting the mafia of Braj who were breaking the mountains, the sacred mountains of Braj. And I was legally fighting them and approaching the government, and we had a very good success. And now finally we have stopped all the mining that is going on in Braj. And last 5 years also, now I am fighting the government of India to rectify the situation of Jamuna River. I do not know if you all know, but Jamuna River has been stopped in the state of Haryana, 250 kilometers north of Delhi. And after that, there is no Jamuna water that comes. So the water that we see in Delhi, the 22-kilometer stretch of Jamuna River, is all 100% Delhi sewage. They are throwing 33 billion liters of sewage into Delhi Jamuna, and that is what is flowing right into Mathura and Vrindavan. And 8 million 88 crores, which is 80 million pilgrims are coming to Braj, to Mathura and Vrindavan every year, with great faith, and taking bath in Jamuna or bottling this water and taking back to their homes. There are 7,000 deities, temples in Mathura and Vrindavan, and their pandas and pujaris are taking the sewage water and doing abhishek to the deities of Vrindavan and Mathura. So the situation, the religious point of view, the situation that is there with Jamuna is something very serious. And a group of us devotees, we took up this cause 5 years ago, and we walked from Allahabad to Delhi. It took us a month and a half, 900 kilometers, just as an awareness campaign. And sure enough, Sonia Gandhi, she invited us for a meeting as soon as we arrived in Delhi. We also camped out outside the parliament for 17 nights. I personally was sleeping on the streets for 17 nights. This was 4 years ago. So the result of all this is that the government is now starting to take action because of the agitation that we are doing. However, so this was the background I was telling you. I get some of my stories from being with the sadhus while they were helping us fight the wars. So from one sadhu, I heard this very sweet story that one time Srimati Radharani, and this is also very appropriate because today is Mother's Day, and we understand Srimati Radharani to be our mother. Of the two personalities, Radha and Krishna, Radharani has a more motherly affection. She is the feminine aspect of Godhead, and so she has the motherly compassion. So this one story I heard was Srimati Radharani, when she was very young, one time she got invited to Nandagaon by Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda used to love Radharani very much. And she would go often to play in Nandagaon, but never she had spent a night there. So on her invitation, Brajbhan Baba and Kirti Maya, they allowed her to go with a few of her sakhis to spend the evening in Nandagaon. And after having spent the evening, she returned back to Barsana. And Brajbhan Baba and Kirti Maya were sitting there, and they very much, with great affection, they welcomed back their Lali, Srimati Radharani, and started to ask many questions about her well-being in Nandagaon and how she liked her little stay in Nandagaon. And Radharani very enthusiastically and pleasingly, she was speaking of all the good things of Nandagaon and how Mother Yashoda kept Radharani always on her lap, and she was feeding her with her own hands and giving her so much pampering. And then she told Brajbhan Baba, she said, Baba, next morning when I woke up, I saw the most amazing thing. And what was that? I saw that in the courtyard of Nanda Palace, Nanda Baba and the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, both of them were sitting and they were giving charity. They were giving alms to people. And there was a very long line of very, very poor people from all over Braj who were standing in line, and they were receiving gifts, receiving Krishna's mercy in the morning. And that sight, it pleased me very much. I've developed a little cough. I've been traveling a lot, India and China and like that. I'm just coming straight. So, Krishna, I saw Lord Krishna was distributing his mercy to all these wretched people, poor people. But then, Baba, I saw something that I did not like at all. And so Brajbhan Baba was a little surprised. What is it that she didn't like in Nandagaon? So Radharani said that in that line of these very poor people who were coming and getting the mercy, kripa of Krishna, there were few people who did not even have a patra. They did not have any container in which to take the kripa, the mercy, whatever Krishna was giving. So those people were being sent back, and they were being asked to go bring a patra. You understand patra? Yes. They were being asked to bring a patra, and then they would be given Krishna's kripa. So that I did not like. So Brijbhan Baba said, look Lali, you know, Radharani was young. So he said, look Lali, that is completely understandable. If you do not have a patra or a container, how you are supposed to receive a gift or charity? And then she started to cry. She said, no Baba, I want you to go back right now to Nandagaon, and I want you to tell Lord Krishna and Nanda Baba both that they must not do this from tomorrow. They must give their mercy to everyone, irrespective of the fact whether they have a patra or they don't have patra. So because she was insisting and crying just to please her, he went to Nandagaon and he relayed the entire story to Nanda Baba, and Krishna was sitting there on the lap of Nanda Baba. So of course, hearing this, Nanda Baba started to laugh, that little baby is speaking like this. But Lord Krishna, when he heard that Radharani is insisting, and she picked on this little point, that those without any containers, without any patra, they were being returned back, Krishna closed his eyes in meditation. And he meditated on the compassionate heart of Srimati Radharani. That how Radharani has picked on this one little point of thousands of people whom I am distributing my kripa to, one or two who did not have the patra, they were being sent back and she did not like it. I wish sometime I could experience the same compassion of Srimati Radharani. And at that time, closing his eyes, he made a sankalpa that I will definitely incarnate on this earthly planet in the mood of Srimati Radharani, in that compassionate mood of Radharani, where I will distribute indiscriminately to every living entity my kripa, whether they have the patrata or they do not have the patrata, whether they are qualified for my mercy or not qualified for my mercy, they will indiscriminately, just like Srimati Radharani, receive my mercy. And that was the incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That was Mahaprabhu. On the inspiration of the motherhood, on the inspiration of Srimati Radharani, Krishna was able to understand that aspect of indiscriminately giving mercy to the non-qualified people. And he appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he has distributed his mercy to all of us wretched souls of Kali Yuga. You know, it is said in the Shastra that the pious souls in the material world, they are all staying in the heavenly planets and in the upper lokas in Kali Yuga. It is all the wretched souls that take birth in this Kali Yuga. This is one aspect, they say like that. So for all of us who have taken birth in Kali Yuga, for us only a magnanimous avatar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be of any hope that yes, we can also receive the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can take his name, we can chant his name, and we can hopefully go back home, back to Godhead. And the same mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this has been adopted by all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the acharyas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They have adopted this. The Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, that is why, is a Sampradaya of Goshtiyanandis. Our acharyas are the greatest bhajananandis, They have no trouble staying in holy places and doing bhajan, and by their bhajan go back home, back to Godhead. But rather, because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, they have accepted this aspect of becoming Goshtiyanandis, to come out in the middle of this material world in such wretched societies as ours and interact with people like us in order to give us Krishna Prem, in order to give us the holy name. This is the great compassion of those devotees who come in line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As you know, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so much relished the association of his devotees. But yet, he sent the greatest of his devotees, the most qualified of his devotees, away from him from Jagannath Puri. He sent them away to preach. He sent the 6 Goswamis. He loved Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was his favorite. But he sent them all away. Go to Vrindavan, go write books, and go re-manifest. He basically wanted the 6 Goswamis to re-manifest Vrindavan. You know, Vrindavan at that time had become such a forest, nobody was living there. Such ferocious animals were living there. I remember my mother telling me that when she was young, she would go and stay in Mathura and visit Vrindavan only in the daytime. And in the evening, the horse cart, the Tonga, would bring her back to Mathura. There were no dharamshalas there. Nobody, this is, I'm speaking maybe 60 years, 70 years ago. This was the situation. So the 6 Goswamis were sent by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that entire Braj could be re-manifested. The Dham could be re-manifested. Our Goswamis were the greatest ascetics, most renounced people. Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami. They lived under a new tree every night. They did not even become attached to staying under the same tree. Such was the extent of their renunciation. And yet, they built temples. Sanatan Goswami ji built Madan Mohan ji Mandir. You know, you've all heard. That was the first temple that was built. Such a huge temple. Even though Aurangzeb broke half the temple, yet you see on the Tilla, that temple is there. And Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada ji, he built Radha Govinda ji Mandir. So many of these mandirs were built. Deity worship was established. And so many pilgrims started to come back to Vrindavan to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to associate with devotees, to take baths in the Jamuna, all because of the efforts of the 6 Goswamis. So part of the establishment of Krishna consciousness on the face of this earth is also to manifest the glories of the Holy Dham. And this was one of the things that our Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada's instruction, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj instructed Srila Prabhupada to go to the Western country and preach Krishna consciousness in the English language. That was it. But Srila Prabhupada took it further. He preached, he became successful, he established temples, he made devotees and disciples, and then he took his best disciples from America and took them straight back to India to establish Krishna consciousness in India with the help of his Western devotees and disciples. He wanted to cover the entire world, and that is why in his prayer to him we say, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale. Krishna Pristhaya. Pristhaya means you have established the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhutale, on the face of this earth. You see, this is Srila Prabhupada's great mercy and compassion, especially to us who are born in India. If Srila Prabhupada had not come to India, we would not have been able to come to Krishna consciousness, understand this philosophy in such a pure way. One time, Srila Prabhupada ji was challenged by one of his disciples in Bombay, one American disciple. While he used to go on morning walks, so many conversations would take place. So Srila Prabhupada ji was asked by one of his disciples, Srila Prabhupada, why Indians are not joining your movement? You know, when I joined this movement in 1978, literally we could count on my fingers. We were only 5 or 6 of us who were college graduates. That's all. Everybody else, that was all Westerners that Srila Prabhupada brought, who were performing such tremendous austerity, getting sick, living in India, getting cheated by the Indians, and yet staying there on the order of their guru. And we had village boys who were seeing an opportunity. Of course, they had bhakti in them because they were from the village, pure environment, but they were also seeing some opportunity for maybe a better life living in Western American mutts, American ashrams. That was it. So I remember, and when I joined, we were just maybe 5 or 6 of us all over India who were college graduates, and that was it, you see. So it was really a movement that was just Westerners, and it was village boys who were doing a lot of menial seva and helping the ashram. And then we had life members. We had people who would just give us money and get rid of us, did not want to hear any philosophy. That's all it was. So Srila Prabhupada was challenged like that. So why Indian Prabhupada, when you speak so highly of the Indians and the culture of India, why Indians are not joining your movement? And Srila Prabhupada very calmly was walking, and he made the statement, he said, they will come, and when they come, they will not leave. This is what Prabhupada said. And now when I see so many of you young people devoting so much of your time and attention, and with such great seriousness, you are taking up to the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, I feel so happy. I feel that Srila Prabhupada's work was definitely genuine. That is why this movement is going to last, and it is going to grow for generations to generations. And definitely what Srila Prabhupada has started is going to last minimum 10,000 years, as it is predicted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, there's also a film that we are going to show you. So, is there something? Is there a question? Hare Krishna, do you have a question? It's an echo, okay. We're going to show you a film for about 28, 29 minutes about Mayapur. So coming back to this point of Srila Prabhupada, he came to India and very diligently he worked very hard to establish Krishna consciousness in India. He actually brought so much of the money that was meant for temples in the West. There was a building that was supposed to be purchased in New York, and Srila Prabhupada had all that money brought. He had so much of the American BBT money brought, and with that he established Vrindavan, he established the Bombay temple, and he had very great vision for Sridham Mayapur. For Mayapur, he wanted a very large Vedic city to be built there, and he wanted a very big, beautiful temple to be built over there. Because he knew that from Mayapur, the spiritual energy will go all over the world. And when Sri Mahaprabhu is glorified all over the world by the medium of this temple, and when they take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is when people will really benefit in Kali Yuga in their bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada was very enthusiastic. In 1972, in the month of December, is the disappearance festival of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada at that time was lecturing to a few of his senior American disciples in Mayapur Dham, and he was glorifying his Guru Maharaj. And then he paused for a minute and he said, every Vaishnav, every Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharya has done something very special as his personal seva in Mayapur Dham. And then he cited the example of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He said, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he went door to door and collected 50,000 rupees from the Grihasthas of Calcutta. And then he built this wonderful temple, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said, my Guru Maharaj, he has established 63 temples, brand new temples. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj was able to build in a short span of 15 years. All over India, he built 63 temples, my Guru Maharaj. But in Mayapur, he built the biggest temple, the biggest mutt, as his personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Srila Prabhupada, he folded his hands right to his disciples, and he said, I thank you very much, you boys and girls, for helping me to build this very glorious temple I want to build in glory of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as my personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Srila Prabhupada started to cry, and he was not able to speak anymore. This is how emotional Srila Prabhupada was to glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the medium of this one temple that he wanted to build, the Adbhut Mandir. This temple has been predicted by Nityananda Prabhu. He was taking Jiva Goswami on a Navadvip Dham Parikrama, And when he came to Mayapur, to that very spot, Nityananda Prabhu, he gave Jiva Goswami spiritual vision, and he showed him. He said, look, and there is a shloka in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Nityananda Prabhu is saying, Iha ek adbhut mandira, hoi be prakash. Iha means right here. Ek adbhut mandira, magnificent temple, hoi be prakash, will manifest. Gaurango nitya seva, hoi be vikash. That Gaurango Mahaprabhu's nitya seva, his eternal service, hoi be vikash, it will actually go and manifest all over the world. All over the world, people will be able to recognize Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, through the medium of this temple. So this was his prediction. Srila Prabhupada wanted to offer all of us with all the blessings Srila Prabhupada has given us of book distribution, of prasad distribution, of Harinam chanting. So much he has given us. He has also wanted to give us this glory in our lives so that all of us together could actually participate in building this temple. And building this temple and offering it to Srila Prabhupada back as our gratitude that Srila Prabhupada, you gave us so much in spirituality in our lives. Here is something all of us together have put together so that you can offer it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That will be the glory of Srila Prabhupada in this world. In our prayers to Srila Prabhupada every morning, we always say, may your glory spread all over 3 worlds. So let us do something together so our Srila Prabhupada's glory can actually spread all over the 3 worlds. Srila Prabhupada knew that building temples catches the attention of the world. He one time said, I do not want the world to say that the Hare Krishna people, they came, they chanted, they danced, and they went away. Therefore, build temples. He said that. He said, therefore, you must build temples. And as you can see, you had a storefront just a couple of years ago. Now all of you have put your efforts and your finances and your enthusiasm together. And I congratulate you for doing this wonderful, nice service for the community. You know, $1.2 million is usually the cost of one house that many of you might be owning. And how many people can enjoy that house? Maybe 3 or 4 or 5. And sometimes the grandparents can come and say, wah, 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 for a month or 2. And that's about it. But what about this house, this $1.2 million that you put in? Thousands and thousands of you are sharing it, you know. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that. He said, we want to build a house in which the whole world can live. This is the way. This is the way of human life. One time a great saint, Tulsidas ji, he was asked by somebody. He said, what is the definition of dharma and what is the definition of adharma? Please explain in very simple language. So Tulsidas ji thought and said, he said, par hit sam dharam nabhai. By doing hit to others, uske saman dharma nahi hota hai. Par hit sam dharam nabhai. So he said, then what is the adharma? He said, par pida sam nahi adhmai. Kisi dusre ko pida dena, difficulty dena, to give them difficulty, nahi adhmai. That is the most horrible thing you can do. And to parhit, to be able to give something to somebody, to benefit them, that is the greatest religion you can do. So this is parhit, to be able to offer spiritual teachings to our community, to our generations to come, to be able to offer Harinam, to be able to offer darshan of Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan to hundreds and hundreds of families of this Northern California area. Anyone who has participated, anybody who has sacrificed in building such a temple, there is tremendous amount of punya in storage in your bank balance for all of you. This you must understand. This is the verdict of the Shastra, and this is how life goes on. The fact that all of us are here enjoying a material life better than so many other human beings that we see on the streets of America or India. Why? Is God partial? No, it is our own karma. The results of our karma is coming in these facilities. So therefore, human life is meant to perform karma of the highest order so that we prepare ourselves for the next life to come. And this is the teachings that our acharyas are giving us. So Srila Prabhupada ji, he has established Krishna consciousness through so many different ways. And one of the ways was to be able to build a wonderful temple in Sridham Mayapur. Prabhupada one time mentioned, he said, Bombay is my office, Vrindavan is my home, and Mayapur is my place of worship. Srila Prabhupada distinguished like that. He said, Mayapur I hold as my place of worship because it is the place where Sankirtan movement started. It is the place where our Ishtadev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared. And from there he started the Sankirtan movement. So he said, that is my place of worship, even though Vrindavan was my home. So in order to glorify the place of worship of Srila Prabhupada, it is the place of worship of all of us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We are devotees of Krishna, and therefore we hold all the tirthas of Krishna very sacred to our heart. But amongst all of them, because we distinguish ourselves coming in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, therefore we hold very sacred Sridham Mayapur, Navadvip Dham, as the foremost of all the dhams that are there on this planet. And therefore in Kali Yuga, Mayapur Dham is also called Audarya Dham. It is called Audarya. Audarya means most munificent. Of all the dhams, the most munificent incarnation is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his dham is also giving the most amount of mercy. Indiscriminate mercy it is awarding. Therefore, to be able to bring people to the holy dham of Mayapur itself is causing them liberation from this material world. And you know, by Srila Prabhupada's works, as Sridham Mayapur ISKCON is today, it is drawing 4 million people to Sridham Mayapur every year. 4 million people are coming. That is an average of 10,000-12,000 people are coming to take darshan, take prasadam, dance in front of the deities to Sridham Mayapur. So once this temple is built, you can imagine how many millions and millions of people will be able to enter the dham. To be able to go to the dham to worship Krishna is one thing, but to be able to bring somebody to the dham, that is of great glory. And this is the opportunity we should see, that in our lifetimes, in the maturity of our lifetimes, this wonderful Adbhut Mandir is manifesting in Sridham Mayapur. If this temple was built 40 years before, none of us would have the opportunity to participate. If this temple was to be built 20 years hence, we would not have the opportunity to participate. Today, the temple is manifesting as though Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is reappearing on this planet in the form of his temple. And we are all being asked to participate in this Mahayagya, to put our ahuti. This Mahayagya is going on. How you don't want to put a little ahuti in it? We put our ahuti and bless ourselves, bless our families by becoming a participant in building this temple. This temple has been designed already for the last 40 years. Our leaders have been designing the temple. Now the temple has been designed, and one personality, one devotee and disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Sriman Ambarish Prabhu, who materially speaking is a very wealthy man. He is the owner of the Ford Motor Company, but an extremely humble man. He is the only person amongst his brothers and sisters who doesn't have a private plane. I asked him so many times, I said, why don't you? He said, no, I would rather spend the money in service of Srila Prabhupada. I was just with him in Bombay, and I was taking him to the airport, and he had a $40 suitcase from Walmart. And I said, Ambarish Prabhu, what are you doing? He said, no, it's okay. It serves the purpose. I don't need. I was thinking of buying him a nice one for his birthday. This is how simple he is. So really, such a wealthy, rich man, and his wife, she's an Indian lady, Bengali lady, and she drives a Mercedes car that is 9 years old. And Ambarish Prabhu drives a Ford car. You know, a $30,000 Ford car. He lives in the same town as I do. So such a simple man, he is the one, he has put $30 million of his money into erecting this temple. The superstructure is up. I'm sure he can put all the money and build it. But he tells me, he says, Radha Jivan, I would much rather give the opportunity to the entire community of ISKCON to participate, to sacrifice, so that they can also get the benefit. So they can also feel, when they come to Mayapur, that we built this temple. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will welcome them when they come to visit Mayapur with their families, that here comes the family that has built my temple. You know, Krishna never says, oh, this man gave me $100 for the temple and this man gave me $100,000 for the temple. He sees everyone, that this man, he sacrificed according to his capacity to build my temple in which I live. You know, from one sadhu I heard a very nice little statement he made. He said, Krishna in Vrindavan is a cowherd boy. So he didn't go to school, and therefore he learnt no mathematics. So he doesn't know any calculations. So how does he reciprocate with his devotees? His reciprocation is like this: Pura de, pura le. You give me everything you've got, and you take everything I have got. That's all the calculation I know. I do not know any more math. So this is how Krishna is, you see. When a devotee from his heart sacrifices for the glorification of the Supreme Lord, to establish the Supreme Lord on this planet, in this Kali Yuga, Krishna becomes Kritagya. He becomes very indebted to that devotee, always. And these are the things that our acharyas are teaching us. That if you need to work for somebody, if you need to sacrifice for somebody, sacrifice for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will eternally remember every little thing that you have done for him. He is most grateful personality. He is full of gratitude. I will tell you a short story and then we will go to the movie. This is a true story, 500 years ago. It is mentioned in a grantha called Bhaktamal, which is very popular in Braj area. So there was one Brahmana in Mathura, and this Brahmana, he had a very beautiful deity like we have our Madan Mohanji. So he had a very, very beautiful deity of Krishna that he loved very much, and he would worship him every morning, and he would do nice shringar decoration. So every morning he would go to the Jamuna, take bath, and upon returning back, he would do nice shringar and puja. One day, as he was coming back, he saw this one vendor, a flower man, with a basket of most beautiful red roses that he had ever seen in his life. So immediately he got very attracted to those roses, and he started to think, if I was to buy all these roses today, the entire basket, I would do a pushpa shringar. I would decorate my Lord with only flowers today. And how beautiful that will be. So he went to the flower man and he said, how much for the entire basket? And of course the flower man was a little proud that day because he had somehow picked the most beautiful roses. So he said, Panditji, these flowers are very expensive. Better you do not. He said, no, please tell me how much for the entire basket. Somehow or the other, they settled the entire basket at 5 rupees. 500 years ago. So 5 rupees was the price. They settled it. Panditji was about to take the money out and give him when one Muslim man, Akbar in those days used to live in Agra, and he was going to Fatehpur Sikri. So on his way he had camped in Mathura. And one of Akbar's slaves, Akbar's servants, he was out in the market also doing some shopping for his king. So while he was shopping, he saw the basket of flowers. And of course, the flowers were very beautiful. So he got very attracted. And he came immediately at that time when the deal was being done. And he said, hey, how much for the flowers? So Panditji said, no, the flowers are already sold. Of course, the flower man, being a little greedy, he tried to tell him the price, thinking maybe he'll get more. So he said, oh, Panditji is buying it for 5 rupees. So that Muslim man, he said, I will give 10 rupees for the flower basket. I want it. So Panditji was a little surprised. He said, why is this man raising the price? For no reason. So Panditji said, listen, I have already paid the price I am paying, 5 rupees. Please don't raise the price. He said, no, I don't listen to you. 10 rupees. So Panditji, then he said, oh, I've already made up my mind. And I'm already seeing, envisioning my Lord with all these flowers. How can I let this deal go? So Panditji said, in that case, I have to give 15 rupees. So as soon as he said 15 rupees, that other man, he said, I will give 30 rupees. So then now the price became too much. And Panditji said, who are you? Why you are offering such exorbitant price for something that is worth not even 5 rupees? So the Muslim man said, you do not know who I am? I am the slave and servant of Jahanpana, Shahenshah, Akbar the Great. And Panditji said, oh my God. One mortal person, and this man is serving him, and he is so proud and confident that he is the servant and slave of one king. And I am the slave and servant of the King of Kings, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can I take defeat from this man? So Panditji said, in that case, I will do 50 rupees. So that Muslim man said, you 50 rupees? I will do 70 rupees. So then Panditji said, I will do 100 rupees. And by then, 200 people had gathered, like in India, if anything happens, immediately there is a big crowd of people looking at what is going on over here, 100 rupees for a basket of flowers. So while the crowd had gathered, the Muslim man, he thought that if I was to give any more than 50 rupees for this basket of flowers and take it back to my king, and the king will surely ask me how much I paid for this, and if I tell him the real price, he's going to cut my throat. This is the payback that we mortals can give for the service people perform. As long as we are profiting from their service, then you're a good person. The minute there is a loss, then you're a bad person. So he quickly disappeared from there. And the flower man was watching all this going on. So he told Panditji, he said, listen Panditji, he knew 100 rupees for a basket of flowers is foolishness. Today I'm not even going to get my 5 rupees. So he told Panditji, he said, listen Panditji, if I have to throw these basket of flowers in the Jamuna today, I will. But the price of this basket of flowers is 100 rupees today. So Panditji said, no problem, you just wait here please. He went to his house, he sold everything that was there in his house, and he brought 100 rupees. He gave it to him very calmly, took the basket on his head, meditating on his Supreme Lord. He walked home and he made all kinds of garlands for the deity. Very beautiful kondani was there for the hands he made. And he decorated his deity very pleasingly with those beautiful flowers, even though his entire house was sold. And then he made this beautiful garland, just like our Radha Madan Mohan is wearing. He made a beautiful long garland of roses. And as soon as he put this rose garland on the neck of the deity, at that time it was 7:30 in the morning, and in Jatipura is in Govardhan, many of you know, and at that time Srinathji deity, who is presently residing in Nathdwara, very famous deity of the Vallabha Sampradaya. So Srinathji deity was being worshipped in Jatipura on the mountain hill. And hundreds of devotees would come to take darshan of his Shringar Arati at 7:30 in the morning. So when the curtains opened, and that time Gosaiji was there, the son of Vallabhacharya, he was there personally serving the deity, and he used to speak to the deity. So when the curtains opened in the morning at 7:30, darshan was being given, but Srinathji's head was down like this, as though his neck was hurting. So Gosaiji ran to the deity and said, Lalji, what is the problem? Did you not sleep well last night? Is your neck hurting? Why are you putting your neck down like this? And Nathji spoke to Gosaiji. He said, no, there is one devotee of mine in Mathura, and he has offered me a flower, a rose garland, a rose flower garland this morning, whose weight I cannot bear. I cannot bear the weight of that flower garland. So immediately Gosaiji understood, oh, something has happened. And he ran a few of his servants to Mathura to find out. And then they found out the whole thing, that one Brahmin devotee has sold off his entire house in order to offer that one garland to his deity. And in gratitude, Krishna is feeling so much pressure that this man has sacrificed so much for me that he is not able to lift his neck up. This is the gratitude of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is how Krishna reciprocates with the living entities, with the devotees who surrender themselves, who sacrifice themselves for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just look at our Srila Prabhupada. Any time you see in your clock, in your watch, it is 8 o'clock in the morning somewhere in the world, and Srila Prabhupada is being worshipped with a ghee lamp. Now, who has made this arrangement? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of gratitude for the sacrifice that Srila Prabhupada made on behalf of Krishna, he has put him on this platform where constantly 24 hours our Srila Prabhupada is being worshipped with a ghee lamp. No king in the world, in the history of this world, is being treated the way Srila Prabhupada is being treated. This is the reciprocation of the Supreme Lord for the services that the devotee does on behalf of Krishna. This is the lesson we have to understand. He is one personality who will again and again, life after life, remain with us, always in gratitude for whatever little or more service that we do for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, which sane man on this planet would not want to give everything of his to such a personality who will always remember in gratitude our doings and our sacrifices? So this is the reason why our acharyas are teaching us utmost sacrifice in this very lifetime to this one Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know, there is a phenomenon in this world that a scorpion, a mother scorpion, feeds its entire body to its children. Do you know that? When she gives birth to children, the baby scorpions, they feed off the body of the mother. She feeds their entire body. But does that make her go back to Godhead? It does not. Even though she is making such a tremendous sacrifice to her own children, but that is only out of her moha, her nature, that's all. It is not out of any jnana or bhakti. You see, so all of us are making so much sacrifice in this world for our communities, our families, ourselves, our senses. But when we make sacrifice for the Supreme Lord, that is when the soul, the jiva, the jivatma, actually gets spiritual credits, spiritual benefit. You see. So Srila Prabhupada, he wanted to establish Krishna consciousness on the face of this earth. He made many centers. So many of us are endeavoring very hard to establish Krishna consciousness in our own communities, and very successfully so. We all are doing. And I congratulate all of you for your sacrifice and your hard work for doing what you're doing. But then there is the bigger picture. There is that one temple that needs to be built that will establish all the 400 temples of ISKCON, as though we are here to stay for a very, very long time. You know, in Hindi there is a saying, 100 sonar ki, ek lohar ki. Tuk, 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 one goldsmith will go, but when the ironsmith comes, he'll go boom, and he will bend the iron. So this is that one lohar ki. One temple will establish our movement, our society, our philosophy, our Ishtadev Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. The eyes of the world will turn to ISKCON society just by Mayapur temple. And this Srila Prabhupada was able to envision back in 1972. Since then he talked to everyone about Mayapur project very, very enthusiastically. Just for a little bit of information I want to tell you, in 2007, the Swaminarayan people opened their biggest temple called Akshay Dham in Delhi. And you know, one of the results of that temple was that the Chinese government gave them an official invitation to come to China to build a Hindu temple. And that is there. If you go on ISKCON news, it is there. That invitation letter is posted by our devotees. So Chinese government, which is a communist government, Srila Prabhupada's society movement has been preaching there for the last 40 years. We were the ones who are spreading Krishna consciousness, Hindu Dharma in China. We have more than 5,000 initiated devotees in China. We should have been the ones to be invited to build a temple, to make a Hindu temple in China. But why we are not invited? Because we don't have a project like Akshay Dham to show to the world. Srila Prabhupada could see this back 40 years ago in 1972, that yes, a big temple like this will make everyone recognize that ISKCON is a established society and it is here to stay. So that temple right now is being built, the superstructure is up, the inside work is going on, and we hope to finish this temple in another 5 to 6 years' time. That's when we will have the grand opening of this temple. The superstructure has been built by one person. Now we are here to ask all of you that let us together participate in building this temple, this one temple together. Srila Prabhupada, before he left this planet, he mentioned one thing. He said, your love for me will show as to how well you cooperate with each other. You know, he said that. Because everybody will say, Prabhupada, we love you, we love you. He said, that is very good you love me, but it will show with how well you cooperate with each other. So let us all cooperate with each other, and let us all build this one wonderful temple together as our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. That Srila Prabhupada, we played our part. We made our sacrifice so that we can say that, yes, we were able to give you back something in return for what you have given us in terms of Krishna consciousness. So we will now show this little movie. I think we're already going a little over time. Prabhuji, Sunanda Prabhu, did you want to show the entire half hour or just the 7-minute movie? Because I kind of spoke, it's 5:30. The 6 and the Aarti starts at 6 or 6:30? 6, so we only have half hour. Okay, let's just show that one movie. Yeah? Yeah, one. No, show both. The other one's only 7 minutes, so show that also. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. So this is a film that was shown to the GBCs this year during the Mayapur festival, and it gives an update as to what is happening with the temple, and it also shows a little bit about the features of the temple.
Srila Prabhupada had a clear vision for the temple of the Vedic Planetarium, one he often expressed. He wanted a unique Vedic planetarium to present the Vedic perspective of life, including a central display of the material and spiritual worlds that visitors could view from different levels as they traveled up. He wanted a unique state-of-the-art project to attract people from all around the world to Mayapur.
I just wanted to say a few words about the project and what's been going on as far as the aspects that I'm involved in. As you can see, the construction is going on very strongly. Different parts of it are coming up very quickly, especially the roofs on the stairwells. You can see them. So the building is coming together, and I'm really happy with the way that it looks. Other people are really excited with the way that it looks, and you know, I think that it will be a monumental piece of architecture when it's completed, so we should be very proud of it and very happy with the progress that's going on. As far as funding, I just returned from a very successful trip to South Africa with our fundraising team. We collected close to $4 million in about 10 days. We had wonderful support from the entire Yatra. They passed a resolution that they are going to support the TOVP until its completion. And you know, I wanted to especially thank Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj, who was very supportive and led the whole effort in South Africa. So we're very happy with all of that. So we're raising funds, the building is coming together, and I get emails and Facebook messages from devotees from all over the world, from different countries, how excited they are about Mayapur project, about the TOVP. So the feedback is really, really good. People are very excited about it. And this will be the home for all devotees in Mayapur for people to come and visit, just the way Srila Prabhupada described. So I think the GBC should be very happy with the way the project is progressing. And please carry this message back to your wherever your places are that you're going to, and spread the word around and try to become involved. Thank you very much.
2013 was a very important year for us. We completed practically all of the superstructure, and now we're just on the verge of almost completing the domes as well. This will take roughly another 9 months. Also, we've just started to commence the construction of the different areas where we seal the building from walls, from ground going upwards, and also we're starting to do the deity rooms as well. So this year is going to be the completion of the full superstructure. We also want to commence the finishing work as well, the interiors and exteriors, where we're starting from the dome coming down to the ground, and we're hoping that we can also commence the finishing of the superstructure of the altars for the deities, and then proceed by cladding the whole inside and the outside. This will also commence near the end of the year. So we're hoping that 2014 will be a successful year to finish all of the detail work ready to commence the finishing work.
For the central dome, the first ring is already completed. Second ring work is in progress. We are going to increase the workforce, and we are running the site for 24 hours. Gammon hired a specialist safety dome inspection team, which they help them in safety measures of dome construction.
Srila Prabhupada expressed his preference for the outer design of the temple. While visiting Washington, he instructed Yadubar and Vishaka to take photos of the Capitol building. When they inquired why, he replied, "We shall have a planetarium in Mayapur to show spiritual world, material world, and so on. Succession of the planetary systems, everything. A building like that."
This is the temple.
The model is built as the dome will be built. So as we come up, each ring is bolted onto the one below. Okay. And it's been engineered in such a way that it's safe. There is no question of it not being safe. The only concern is the construction methodology, how we're going to build it. It has 200 millimeters of concrete on the outside. It's not only stainless steel. Once the concrete is there, we can take the stainless steel structure out, and the dome will still be just as strong. We need something to hang the ceiling off so the stainless steel will stay there. Mr. Chowdhury out of Delhi has done the engineering, and we've seen, he made one video. He put all his calculations into one program, which is a very expensive program, and more or less destroyed the temple and collected that information on the forces that were necessary for the dome to collapse. And it's just, yeah, incredible forces that would be necessary.
The centerpiece of the complex is a chandelier, which provides visitors with an enlivening tour of the various regions of the cosmic creation. This features a giant model that demonstrates the movements of the planetary systems as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Explanations and displays are also presented that describe how these movements correspond to the visible universe of our experience.
We've been concentrating a great deal on the actual size of the chandelier of recent times. We realised that if it's made to the maximum size allowable, it'll be literally impossible to see the upper planetary systems. Of course, I refer to Goloka Vrindavan, which is going to be so far away. So we've adjusted the height of the chandelier to some small degree. And of course, because the chandelier its height and its width are interrelated subjects, and the width has to get altered somewhat. But it's still going to be the largest chandelier in the world, from what I can see. And it's certainly going to be the most interesting chandelier.
For the planetary display in the main dome of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium, we've based the layout of the model on a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote in 1976 to Mr. Dhani. Therein, Srila Prabhupada explained 15 different elements that he wanted contained within the model, beginning from Patala Loka and culminating in Goloka Vrindavan. So at the bottom of the planetary display we have Shesha holding up the earth. This is Shesh, the empowered incarnation. There we have Ananta speaking Bhagavatam to the four Kumaras, and above the 7 subterranean planets. Here we can see Jambudvip, the central island of Bhumandala, and Bharatvarsha is situated on the southern side of that. It's 8 other Varshas with Ilavrita Varsha in the center, various supporting mountains with large trees upon them, described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the very center of Ilavrita Varsha is Mount Meru, Golden Mountain. Atop Mount Meru are the cities of important demigods, Lord Brahma in the center, the 8 Dikpalas in the cardinal directions and sub-directions. Moving out, we can see the broader Bhumandala, 7 concentric islands and oceans surrounding them. The 7th of these islands is Pushkaradweep. On that island is Manasotra mountain, and on the mountain there's various cities of demigods such as Indra. Out further is Loka mountain. These large elephants stand atop Loka mountain to balance Bhumandala. Outside of Loka mountain is Aloka Varsha, which is dark. The rays of the sun and the other luminaries extend up to Loka mountain. On Manasotra mountain here on Pushkaradweep, the sun travels above this mountain at the southernmost point of its annual orbit. Above Bhumandala is Bhuvarloka, which is the residence of the Charanas, Siddhas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, and above there is Swargaloka, beginning from the sun and extending up to the pole star Dhruvaloka. This is the moving part of the planetary display. Here we can see the sun and the moon moving in their chariots. The chariots are being drawn by horses moving in the anti-clockwise direction, but they're traveling with the wheel of time, moving in the clockwise direction faster, so it looks as if they're moving backwards. Above them are the zodiac of stars, more planets, and another realm of stars. So here we can see everything moving with the Kala Chakra, circumambulating the axis that connects Mount Meru with Dhruvaloka. Above these planets, we come to the planet of the 7 sages, Saptarshi. You can see them here, they're commonly known as the Big Dipper, and then Dhruvaloka, the pole star. On the ocean of milk situated there, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Paramatma within everyone's heart, he resides on Anantashesh. Moving up beyond there we have Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka. In this video we haven't included many of the details for there, but on Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka we have residences of the Lord such as Lord Varaha, Vamana and so on. Here's Brahmaloka, and on Brahmaloka we also have a form of the Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu as the Sahasrashesha Purush. Beyond there is the 7 coverings of the universe, earth, water, fire, etc. And outside of the universes is the abode of Lord Shiva, Shiva Loka. There he resides eternally. Beyond Shiva Loka, we come to Mahavishnu, Karanodakashaya Vishnu, with innumerable universes that are emanating from the pores of his transcendental body. Here you can see him being served by Rama Devi. Then we come to the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of the Lord's transcendental body. Penetrating through the Brahmajyoti, we come to the Vaikuntha planets. We're showing 24 planets of the Vaikuntha realm in this model. The Lord, with 4 arms, is holding the conch, disc, club, and lotus, and the various combinations of those 4 make 24. Then we come to Goloka Vrindavan. Here we can see Radha Madhava, but we'll also be showing the other primary rasas. Krishna with the cowherd boys, Krishna being served, Krishna with Mother Yashoda. So this is an overview of the planetary display to be shown in the main dome of the temple.
Welcome to the design department for the year 2014. Of course, we have a lot of very detailed work on ceiling, plaster work, exterior, parikrama floor, interior, big temple, interior and exterior of the Nrsingadev temple. But I'll just give you one example of the interior column for the Kirtan Hall, main temple hall. This is a concept that we have for the main pillars that go around that hold up the dome, the very strong dome. The columns will be clad in onyx and white marble bases, onyx, and then white marble capitals with gold leaf. And on this, where you see this orangey color, will actually be a very beautiful honey-colored, intricately carved teak wood, which will act as acoustic panels so that we can help to bring up the acoustics of the main hall to the standard that it has to be for huge kirtans. Here on the column, we've designed special order crystal wall light brackets. They're 10 foot long, and there'll be one on each column going up all around. Now this will go to our architects, Vilasini, and they will do the actual architectural drawings. So it's a very long, complicated process.
There's another 7-minute video which we want to show you. We're a little short of time, and this is all technical stuff now. So you've already seen the chandelier in the temple. We want to show you the next one. So Prabhuji, can you do the next one, please? This is a short 7-minute video that was made for promotion.
Prabhupada was planning a project that was far bigger than ever had been attempted by anyone else.
A temple like this has never been built for hundreds of years. You want to make this like a gem.
Prabhupada wanted to build a planetarium because he wanted to prove to the whole world that the Big Bang theory is wrong and Krishna is the cause of all causes.
We are actually standing at the moment where the actual gardens will be for the big temple. There'll be beautiful ponds and beautiful roadways and trees and flower beds everywhere.
The Temple of Vedic Planetarium is something really astonishing because in the history of mankind there isn't anything like that.
Mayapur is the home for all devotees. This is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so the mercy here is very, very easy to obtain.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Mayapur is the heart and the home of the Sankirtan movement. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's home, and it's where the spiritual world has descended to the material plane and continues to touch the material plane, and therefore energizes us, especially when we chant Hare Krishna in front of Panchatattva.
The temple that we're building will have the largest kirtan hall in the world. It's over 1.5 acres. So for people to come and experience that is extremely important.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
What we want is that this Adbhut Mandir, or this extraordinary temple, should be built in an extraordinary way.
Srila Prabhupada asked me to help finance this temple. So far I've put in about $23 million. Right now we're kind of moving from phase 1 into phase 2. We're asking devotees from around the world and well-wishers from around the world to please come and help us participate in completing this temple.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Srila Prabhupada said, sources of fund means that we collect all over the world. And he also said, all of our branches will gladly contribute.
We have divided up the construction of this temple into square footage. So the total construction of this temple is 425,000 square feet. That's how big it's going to be. Half is already built. The other half, now we need 250,000 square feet to be constructed. So we're looking for those 250,000 enthusiastic devotees, spiritualists, people of humanity to come forward and donate $150, which is the cost of construction. Here, with $150, you practically can own 1 square foot of this great temple that will stand generations after generations. The world is becoming bombarded with negative news, with negativity, with bad things happening all around us. Only a few moments in our lives we have an opportunity to see, to witness, or to participate in something grand, in something positive, in something that we can leave behind, that our children, our grandchildren can be proud of. And this is that one opportunity. We want to build this temple and offer it to Srila Prabhupada in 2016. 2016 is the 50th anniversary. It is the golden jubilee of this society. For 50 years, we have cherished spiritual life given to us by Lord Chaitanya, given to us by our acharyas, given to us by these great scriptures, given to us specially by this great personality, Srila Prabhupada. So as an offering to him, we want to give him this, that my dear sir, all together, so many of us, we have put this temple together for you so that the world can benefit. And this is our gift of gratitude to you in this 50th anniversary.
This Mayapur temple is actually going to be a very historic and significant contribution to the culture of the world.
Eventually people from all over the world would come here to Mayapur, West Bengal, India, and see that as a source of real education and knowledge about the purpose of human life and how to fulfill its potential.
Presence of this temple, the manifestation of this Adbhuta Mandir will draw out increased potency from Panchatattva because more people will come here.
Lord Chaitanya came to show everyone the ultimate expression of love. And I mean, that's a driving force in the whole world for everybody.
Okay, Prabhuji, that's it. That's it now. Thank you very much. So this was the presentation of Sridham Mayapur Mandir. As you can see, it is an Adbhut Mandir. It is almost 500,000 square feet, 10,000 dancing devotees can be accommodated in the temple hall at one time. And as you can see, the superstructure is up. All the other works need to be done. And now comes the real part. I know that you have a brand new temple that you have committed yourselves to, and this temple still needs so much money, and work is going on. And in the middle of this, here comes another project. You know, there is a saying in Braj that there was one mother-in-law, and she had a very simple daughter-in-law. And she was a very simple lady. So the mother-in-law used to always put her to work. From morning to night, she was putting her to work. And the simple little Bahu, the daughter-in-law, would keep working. So one day the old lady, she told the Bahu, she said, Ari Bahuriya Saans Le. You understand Hindi? My dear daughter-in-law, take a breath. Ari Bahuriya Saans Le. So the daughter-in-law thought, what is wrong today? Mother-in-law is in a good mood. Maybe it is a birthday or something. She's asking me to take a break. And then in the next line she says, Charkha chhod jaat le. That means give up spinning the thread and take up the chakki and start pisoing atta. So Ari Bahuriya Saans Le, Charkha chhod jaat le. So this is the life of us devotees also. You know, when I was a young boy, my father was a rich man, so I was obviously a spoiled kid. So the devotee who was preaching to me, he said, Prabhupada said, life is not meant for working like cats and dogs. It is meant for, I said, what is it meant for then? He said, life is meant for chanting, dancing, and taking Krishna Prasad. So a spoiled kid like me, I said, this is a wonderful life. This life which is backed by Bhagavad Gita and a great saint is meant for chanting, dancing, and taking Krishna Prasad. So I said, I'm going with you. I left my house and went to Mayapur. When I arrived in Mayapur, they gave me a broom and they said, all the toilets you have to clean. I said, what happened to chanting, dancing, and taking Krishna Prasad? They said, that is only mornings and evenings. All day you have to work like this. So last 37 years, that is what I am doing. So this is how it is. Our life is meant to sacrifice ourselves more than our capacity to the service of the Supreme Lord. And yes, we have a temple to build, we have a project to do, and here comes a big hathoda again, another big project to complete. But please, all of you, consider it to be your good fortune, that again and again we are being asked to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is our good fortune. The money that we have, the wealth that we have, the remuneration that we get from our hard work could go here and there and everywhere. But rather, Krishna is extracting it out of us. He is extracting it. The saintly people are coming to our doors and asking for help so that they can build these beautiful temples that we can together offer to our coming generations. With this responsibility, you will not feel that this evening is a burden to you, rather it is an opportunity. One person in Jagannath Puri, just recently I was making a presentation to devotees, so he came and touched my feet. So I said, why are you doing? He said, Prabhuji, I especially want to touch your feet because you have the most difficult service in this entire movement of ISKCON. I said, what is that? He said, asking for money. This is the most difficult. Everyone must hate you. I said, yes, you are very right. Because one saintly person has said, Aab gayi, Aab means Abru. Aab gayi adar gaya, nainan gaya shane. Ye tino tab hi gayi, jab hi kaha kachude. So asking does put a person in a very awkward situation. Our movement is not a movement of asking, but somebody must do this dirty job. Somebody has to be bold enough to be able to say what the requirement of the society is, and therefore the sacrifice is needed. And that is the job I have willingly accepted, because to be a donor for Krishna Seva, that is a very glorious thing. But to become a beggar for Krishna, that is even more glorious. You know, that same saintly person has said, Maru par mangu nahi, मरूं पर मांगू नहीं मेरे तन के काज, परमारथ के कारणे मोहे न आवे लाज. Because the money is going to go for spiritual benefit of this society. Therefore, I have no shame in asking, in telling you the real need of this organization and society. So today is Mother's Day. It is a wonderful day. It is a day of great sentiments. When I heard that young lady sitting here speaking the wonderful glories in such warm sentiments, in such warm emotion and appreciation, I was feeling so proud that what flowers, what diamonds our movement is producing, that at such young age they have such deep, sincere and honest appreciation for their elders. You know, mother, it is mentioned that if a person is giving Bhagavatam class, if he is sitting on the Vyasasana, and if his father approaches, then he should not get up from the seat. But if his mother comes into the room, he must get up from his Vyasasana and offer obeisances, because that is the position of a mother in the life of the person. That is because of the sacrifice the mother has made. And today we remember our Supreme Mother, Srimati Radharani, who by her kindness has given us Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was her doing, her compassion, due to which Sri Krishna was inspired to take up the incarnation of Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the motherly love of Srimati Radharani. And I come on her behalf. I come on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, who also out of his motherly compassion came to the Western world to give us this wonderful philosophy and teaching of Bhagavad Gita. So please, all of you, be warm-hearted today. Make a commitment to Sridham Mayapur. I assure you, you will get million-fold results from the sacrifice you will make in building this temple. Today, I am only asking for all of you to make a commitment. I am not asking for your money. Money you give according to your convenience. But make a commitment so that your neighbor sitting next to you will also become inspired. They will feel that so-and-so is making a commitment, I should also make. I was just in Dallas, and one young Mexican devotee came to me. And he said, I want to give $1,500 to you, Prabhuji. And I knew his background. He was a very poor devotee. So I said, no, don't do that. Just give me 1 square foot, $150. He said, no, Srila Prabhupada took so many pains for me. I want to also take so many pains for Srila Prabhupada. You please take this money. So such emotions I am encountering. Last year I was in China making a presentation. Few devotees were sitting there. So then I said, how many of you want to participate in building this temple? Everybody raised their hands. There was a 10-year-old girl, a Chinese girl. The presentation was being translated into Chinese. She also raised her hand. So jokingly, I picked on her. I said, how you are going to give me $150? To my surprise, she had a ready answer. She said, next month is my birthday. I will ask my father as a birthday gift to give me $150 so I can buy my 1 square foot. I said, this is... Now the temple will be built. When our movement leaders and children have such emotion, such deep, sincere appreciation for Prabhupada's work, and they want to participate in giving Prabhupada back by making this temple together, this temple will be built. So this is my request to you. Today is Mother's Day. There is one Kavi, one poet who has said, Janani Jane to Bhakt Jane. He is telling the motherhood. He is challenging the motherhood. He is saying, Janani Jane to Bhakt Jane, Ya Data Ya Sur. My dear mother, my dear woman, if you want to give birth, then you make sure that your child has got 3 qualities. One, that he is a devotee. Number 2, Ya Data, he must be charitable. Ya Sur, and he must be Surbir. He must not become afraid of little things. Janani Jane to Bhakt Jane, Ya Data Ya Sur, Nahi to Janani Banj Rahe, Kyun Khove Hai Noor. Otherwise, don't give birth, because I know, my dear lady, in giving birth to a child, you lose many, many years of your life. So today is the day of the mother. Let us be proud of our mothers who have given birth to us, and by whose sanskar and good work She has brought us up to becoming devotees and datas and surs. Today is the time of our test. In the name, in the memory of our mothers, the womenhood, our wives, our daughters, let us make a pledge. Please make a pledge very magnanimously. Let me go back very proud from this community. This community has participated in their sincere appreciation to Srila Prabhupada's work in helping Srila Prabhupada build this wonderful temple. So now I will ask if anybody who wishes to make a pledge. We have this very wonderful opportunity. This is the golden brick opportunity. We are offering 1,008 bricks to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A golden brick with your name inscribed on it. You can inscribe up to 3 names. Will be put on the altar, inside the altar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That will be the last layer, and then there will be marble on top, and Mahaprabhu, the Panchatattva, they will stand on it. We have already sold about 600 bricks. We have 400 bricks left. The cost of this brick is 1 lakh of rupees. It is $1,600. The money that you will give will go to build the dome that is being constructed right now on top of the temple. So it's a very auspicious place where to invest your money. Please make your pledges. The money can be taken by the temple authorities as and when you are ready with it. The second option is we have the square foot option, that 1 square foot of the construction of this temple is costing $150, and you can participate in how many ever square feet you want to donate. So this is my small plea to all of you for which I have come here, and I would like to see some good participation. If there's any one of you who would like to participate in any of these 2 programs, please raise your hand and give your names. Prabhuji is here to write. Hare Krishna.
$1,600.
And your name, Prabhuji?
Sorry?
Name?
Name, I'll tell you later my mother's name.
Yeah, okay.
Write my name for now.
Yeah. And then there's Prabhuji at the back.
I would like to. Thank you, Prabhu. It was very inspiring to hear from you.
Hare Krishna.
We would like to make a very insignificant contribution by donating 1 golden brick.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Please remember, this is the temple of ISKCON Prabhu, the most magnanimous personality in our movement. And you should not get a report that less than 100 bricks came out of this community.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. On Mother's Day, my mother is here.
Hare Krishna.
That's my mother.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to donate on my mother's name.
Thank you very much.
1 golden brick.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, anybody else?
Yes, Ashok Prabhu. Microphone coming down. Maybe.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I want to donate one brick
Thank
in
you,
the name
Hare
of my
Krishna.
parents.
Thank you very much. Please pass on. Other people
Yes.
are also there.
I'll also donate 1 golden brick.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
My name is Dinesh Prabhu.
Dinesh. No, they will arrange. The temple authorities, the money can be given in the name of ISKCON. Checks can be given in the name of ISKCON. They will all be, you will be given your certificates for tax benefits also. And for those of you who work for companies that match your donations, then that way, if you donate 1 brick, then you can also get a matching donation from your company. So later on, all the checks can be written in the name of ISKCON. You take the check and you put it all together and write us 1 check in the name of Mayapur. We will work that out later on. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. 1 brick. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Here is a good hand. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. You know, I was doing a presentation in Malaysia, and there was a young man like him, and he donated 2 bricks. So then he came to me, he said, I'm donating 2 bricks in the name of my children, even though I am going to pay for their education and upbringing. But when they make their salary, I'm going to take this money back from them. I said, this is a wonderful investment. This is how you should think. Thank you, Pujari. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. How many bricks do we have? Yes.
So, what Prabhu said, like, if you're working for a company or you can get a match. So I donated one tile for my Guru Maharaj, and just because there was a matching there, so I was able to get two bricks. So you can also look at that.
Yeah, that is a facility for all of you. Yes, Prabhuji, you would want? He will also match one. So there's two tiles. Thank you very much. And this is a very special opportunity because after the 1,000 bricks, then that's it, that's finished. And all the bricks, as you know, will go on the basement of Mahaprabhu's platform, right there in Mayapur. Yes, Prabhuji.
I'll sponsor for 10 bricks.
Hare Krishna, Hare Very good, thank you very much. Janani Janay to Bhakta Janay Ya Data Ya Sur. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay. One more. Thank you, Hare Krishna. I think we will very soon get our 100 bricks. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji Manoj. Thank you. Yes, after we finish the bricks, then we'll go to the square foot.
Okay, here. Here, Sri Ram.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. On behalf of His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, we are announcing 5 bricks.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
We got 3 already, so
Yes.
2 will be coming. So
Thank you very
I will
much.
talk to you.
I want to tell you that Bhakti Raghav Maharaj I met in Delhi when I was making a presentation just 2 weeks ago. And Maharaj took 100 of these cards and he said, I will do 100 bricks. And you know, he's got not very rich disciples and still he took such a vow that I'll do 100 bricks.
We just did 5 out of that, so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just coordinating that service.
Okay. Thank you very much, thank you. I'll tell him. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Please come forward. Yes, if there's anyone online and you want to donate, please speak up. This is a good time. We will excuse you for being home and not being here. Yes.
So one on behalf of ISKCON Prabhu.
Jai, thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes.
We would like to donate 1 brick, Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Did you get that name? Mataji there at the back? 1 brick. 1 brick.
1 brick.
1 brick. So, that now, anyone else?
I would like to do 2 bricks.
2
one
brick.
for on behalf of my parents and one for my wife's parents.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, 1 brick under my family's name.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Suji Prabhu. Can you count up all the bricks and tell me what the total is? Yes, any more?
So two bricks.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Did you get the name? Sailesh Prabhu, 2 bricks. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is a very nice group of devotees. Aditi Mataji?
Aditi Mataji.
1 brick for Aditi. Thank you. Thank you very much, Aditi. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I know for sure $1,600 is not a small amount of money. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I very much...
1 brick for my mother.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bhavan Prabhu. I very much appreciate, Srila Prabhupada appreciates, Mahaprabhu appreciates the sacrifice all of you are making at this young age to be able to donate money for Mayapur, to maintain this temple. But the sacrifice you make is not going to go in vain. That is my experience of life. It is my experience of life. I will tell you a small story. When I got married, my family is very wealthy, so I became a sadhu in Mayapur. And then on the asking of my mother, my Guru Maharaj arranged a marriage for me. But I was living in Mayapur and serving there, and Mayapur was a small ashram. So they gave me a small room on top of the Goshala. So my wife and I, we were living there. My brother, who was a very rich man in Delhi, he invited me for a big reception after my wedding. And in front of thousands of people, he was a little drunk also. You know, rich people. So he challenged me in front of everyone. He said, why did you get married? You have no money. You're a sadhu. You live in the forest. Now you will definitely have children. And all your children will starve. And it was a fact. My children were starved. And everybody was looking, and I was the chief guest. It was my reception, and such words were being said to me right in front of his guests. He said, you should not have gotten married, your children will starve. But today I want to tell you, we are 4 brothers. All of us are very rich, but I am the richest amongst all the brothers. And that brother, my older brother who challenged me like this, his son works for me in my factory in Delhi. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijani hi name bhaktya pranashyati. Mere bhakt ka pranash nahi hota hai. My devotee never perishes. So be very careful when we challenge our devotees. Krishna is there. He's there for everybody. This chamatkar is not only in the Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is happening today in our lives. I am not even a devotee, simply a pretentious devotee. But Krishna takes it to be serious. This is how it is. For the sacrifices that we make, today we may feel, oh my God, Prabhuji is here, extracting so much money from us. No, it is not so. Krishna will pay back every penny and much, much more in so much happiness and prosperity that we can never imagine. So please very confidently build Srila Prabhupada's temple. This will be the only thing that you will give, the auspiciousness that you will give to your coming generations, to your family and your children. So I thank you very, very much for so enthusiastically coming forward and making these pledges. For those of you who are not able to make the golden brick, we also have the square foot scheme. Anyone who wants to do 1 or 2 or 5, that can also be done.
1 brick in the name of Anika.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Anika. So anybody else would like to do bricks or square foot? Yeah, 1 square foot is $150. That makes 1 square foot of the temple. And 1 brick is that special scheme that we have, which is going under Mahaprabhu's altar. And that is $1,600.
1 brick in my father's name.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I think we only have brick people. Nobody wants square foot here. All the golden people with golden hearts.
I'll do 100 square feet.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. 100 square feet. 100 square feet. Now don't get too carried away. Hare Krishna. Okay? Yes, Mataji.
2 square feet, 1 for my son and 1 for the to-be-born daughter.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Jai Jai. That's wonderful. Where is your son? Where is he today? Okay, Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So should we end it here? Is there any more? Okay. Please raise your hands, anybody, so we can bring the mic to you.
Yes. 1 square feet was sponsored by my cousin.
Yes.
1 for my son and 1 for my daughter, 1 for my brother, 1 for my another brother.
So that's 5 square feet. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you. This year, the Mayapur temple construction requires specially $12 million, $6 million to finish the superstructure in this year, and we require $6 more million to buy all the marble so that next year we can start doing marble work. So this is especially a very crucial year for us, since we have to buy the marble and finish the superstructure. So all the commitments that you're making is going to go to very good use, and the dome is being made right now, and all your money will be used for building the dome, which is the Chhatri of the Lord's temple. So it's a very auspicious place where your money is going to be used.
Just I wanted on the Mother's Day for my mother 1 square feet and more for my mother-in-law 2.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. It's very good that you mentioned your mother-in-law, otherwise there'd be a fight in the house.
2 square feet, 1 for my parents and my 1 for my in-laws.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
I'd like to donate
Thank
3
you very
square
much.
feet.
Yes, take the other one, please.
3 square feet, 1 for my late mother and 1 each for my kids.
Thank you, thank you. What is your name? Mine. Thank you. Neha, thank you. Yes, please offer square feet in the name of deceased parents. It's a wonderful gratitude, and they will get the benefit wherever they are. If you offer something so nice in their name, that is a wonderful sentiment also. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Suresh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. What about some of the children? Do they have any money in their piggy bank? $150? Thank you. Yes, yes.
1 square foot on behalf of my dad.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very nice. That's it? Okay, thank you very much. Really, thank you very much. Wonderful community. And the only thing I pray to all of you is that you will invite me back again so that I can take your darshan and be able to associate with all of you wonderful devotees.
Just to clarify, those who pledged, should they be giving the checks or in whichever form they want to donate to our temple authorities?
Yes, I think that is best. Okay. And Prabhuji here, his hand is up. Give the checks to him. It can be written in the name of ISKCON. Okay. At the bottom, you can write Mayapur Temple or TOVP, and then Prabhuji will know. And the golden brick forms are there. You can write golden brick there. And he will put it all together, coordinate with us, and then we will give you all the receipts through him. He will give you the receipts also. Yes, Prabhuji.
1 square foot.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Prabhu, do you want to hear the total?
Yes, let the community know.
So we have in net total around 38 golden bricks.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. That's almost close to $50,000.
Yes, 60. And then over, if we add up the square feet and all, it's close to $80,000.
$80,000 have been collected. That is a wonderful gift that you're giving. That is a wonderful gift that you're giving on Mother's Day. I thank you all very much. We have some calendars for this year. Outside, Sunanda Prabhu has a table where you can pick up your calendars, and you can pick up more forms. There might be friends and other devotees who were not able to attend today, who you can inspire to also donate. Prabhuji will be here coordinating the donations for Mayapur in this temple. There's one Mataji here she wants to do. So please, this is not the last of, yes?
One more
break. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, as I said, the community should do at least 100 bricks altogether. So it becomes your responsibility. For one who donates is wonderful, but for one who asks, it's even higher. So now you've all donated, now become beggars in the service of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you and obeisances to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll now have the Arati. So please stack all the asans at the corner of the temple room and keep the books away. We'll start the Arati in few minutes.
The calendars are for everyone, not just for devotees that donate.